Oumuamua, which is an object that we detected in space that you believe could possibly have been extraterrestrial.
Elon Musk just made a shocking announcement about Oumuamua. This mysterious space object that baffled scientists in 2017 has returned. And this time it's not alone. Shaped like a long cigar, this strange visitor has stunned experts. Scientists couldn't agree on what it was back then, and now that it's re-entering our solar system with a few companions, the mystery is only growing. Is this just a rare space event, or could it be something created by an unknown civilization? Join us as we uncover the jaw-dropping details behind one of the most puzzling discoveries in space history, the return of Oumuamua. Elon Musk has just confirmed something that has shaken the world of astronomy, a mysterious event that scientists are struggling to explain. Oumuamua, the strange object that baffled astronomers back in 2017, has returned. But this time it's not alone. For those who haven't heard of it, Oumuamua was first spotted moving through our solar system in 2017. It was unlike anything seen before. Scientists quickly realized that it had come from outside our solar system, making it the first known interstellar visitor to pass through our cosmic neighborhood. The name Oumuamua comes from Hawaiian, meaning scout or messenger from afar, fitting for something that arrived suddenly and vanished just as quickly. It zipped past the sun, accelerated in an unexpected way, and then disappeared into the depths of space, leaving behind more questions than answers. Now, against all odds, it has returned. And this time, there's more than one. Something big is happening in space, and it's making scientists nervous. Oumuamua's first visit had already caused a stir in the scientific community. But now that multiple similar objects have appeared, even Elon Musk has spoken out about the discovery. According to him, this could be the most important event in human history. And he's not alone. Scientists, space agencies, and even governments are taking this very seriously. SpaceX recently completed a deep space telescope project, and its advanced sensors confirmed what astronomers had feared. Oumuamua, or something just like it, is back. But what's even stranger is that this isn't just a single object anymore. There are multiple, all moving in a way that scientists can't fully explain. Musk warned that we might be dealing with an unknown natural phenomenon, or something far more mysterious. Astronomers around the world were quick to act when their telescopes detected something unusual in space. At first, it was just a faint blip, a strange object moving in a way that didn't match any known asteroid or comet. It wasn't behaving like a normal space rock, and some even feared it could be an alien probe or a weapon heading toward Earth. As scientists tracked its movement, they discovered something shocking. This object was following the exact same path as Oumuamua in 2017. It was almost as if it was retracing its steps. But when astronomers took a closer look, they realized there wasn't just one object, there were several. If Oumuamua had been a one-time event, it could have been dismissed as a rare cosmic fluke. But now, with multiple similar objects appearing in less than a decade, scientists had to accept a new reality. Something was coming from deep space, and it wasn't random. These new visitors share key similarities with the original Oumuamua. They are long, shaped like giant cigars, and don't behave like typical space rocks. Unlike comets, they don't leave behind gas trails when they pass near the sun. Unlike asteroids, they don't behave like solid chunks of rock drifting through space. Instead, they seem to move with a slight acceleration, just like Oumuamua did before it vanished. But there's one major difference. The new object isn't traveling alone. At least two others are following at a distance, moving in perfect sync. This is not how natural space debris behaves. In 2017, Oumuamua appeared and disappeared so quickly that scientists barely had time to react. Our telescopes weren't advanced enough, and no space missions were planned to intercept it. But things are different now. Since then, space agencies and private companies have developed more powerful deep space observation tools. NASA, SpaceX, and other organizations now have satellites and telescopes capable of tracking interstellar visitors. The moment the new objects were detected, scientists moved fast. Within days of the discovery, NASA and other space agencies scrambled to prepare missions to study these objects. SpaceX quickly announced that it was working with NASA to fast-track a probe launch. The goal was to get a spacecraft close enough to examine one of these objects before it disappears into deep space again. And it's not just the US getting involved. Other countries, including China and European nations, are also working on their own missions. The European Space Agency may even repurpose one of its existing probes to intercept the SO. What if these objects aren't just random chunks of rock and ice? What if they are something else? Something that we don't yet understand. Let's find out. Oumuamua scientific guess. Back in 2017, astronomers spotted something truly bizarre. A mysterious object speeding through our solar system. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before. Was it a comet, an asteroid, or something far more mysterious? Some even suggested it could be an alien probe, sent by an advanced civilization to study us. But with no solid proof, that idea faded into the background. Now, years later, new data has brought those questions roaring back. Scientists have discovered more objects behaving just as strangely as Oumuamua, the name given to the first interstellar visitor. These new arrivals aren't slowing down as they should when caught in the sun's gravity. Instead, they're accelerating in unpredictable ways, just like Oumuamua did. Some experts think this acceleration might be caused by outgassing, when ice trapped inside an object turns into gas as it heats up, creating a small push. But there's a huge problem with that theory. None of these objects show any signs of releasing gas. There are no visible tails, no sudden bursts, nothing that would indicate outgassing. Just smooth, deliberate movement. For some, including private space industry figures like Elon Musk, these objects don't seem natural at all. They look more like something artificial, something made. And here's the unsettling part. Scientists are starting to think this might not be a one-time event. At the moment, the world's top scientists are tracking these objects, gathering as much data as possible, and even considering future missions to intercept one. But for now, there are no clear answers, only more questions. On October 19, 2017, an astronomer named Robert Warwick was going through data from the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. This telescope constantly scans the sky for asteroids that could pose a threat to Earth. That's when he noticed something unusual. At first, it seemed like just another space rock, but as Warwick studied its motion, something felt off. It was moving way too fast, much faster than anything from our solar system. Most asteroids and comets either orbit the sun or get influenced by the gravity of large planets like Jupiter. But this object wasn't following any normal orbit. It was cutting through space at a strange angle. Warwick checked older telescope images and made a shocking discovery. It had already passed close to Earth and was now speeding away. By the time scientists realized how unusual it was too late to get a close look. It was already leaving the solar system, and all they had were telescope images and rushed calculations. This was a historic moment. It was the first time humanity had ever seen something enter our solar system from another star system. Because it was discovered in Hawaii, astronomers gave it the name Oumuamua, which means scout or messenger from afar in Hawaiian. Scientists continued to study it as it spun end over end every 7.3 hours. But the biggest mystery of all was its sudden acceleration. Some experts suggested that sunlight could be pushing it, like a giant solar sail. But Harvard professor Avi Loeb had a different theory, one that shocked the scientific community. Loeb suggested that Oumuamua wasn't a natural object at all. Instead, he believed it could be an artificial spacecraft, possibly a probe from an advanced alien civilization. According to him, the way it moved suggested that it was using some form of propulsion, either controlled remotely or piloted by someone inside. Most scientists weren't ready to jump to such a bold conclusion, but they couldn't deny one thing. Nothing about Oumuamua made sense. And by the time the world realized how important it was already too late to send a probe to study it up close. All we had were blurry telescope images and fragments of data. It was a frustrating moment for the space community. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity had slipped through our fingers. If we had detected it earlier, we could have sent a spacecraft to investigate. Instead, it disappeared into the darkness of space by early 2018, moving too far and too fast to ever be seen again. Even after Oumuamua was gone, the debate over what it was never stopped. NASA, the European Space Agency, and even private companies like SpaceX quietly started preparing for the next time something like this showed up. No one wanted to miss the opportunity again. Then years later, it happened. Another strange object entered our solar system, and then another. This time, they weren't alone. Could this be part of a pattern? A larger phenomenon we're only just beginning to understand? If Oumuamua was just the beginning, what else is out there waiting to be discovered? Let's explore further. Oumuamua extraterrestrial origin. Oumuamua is unlike any space rock or asteroid we've ever seen. Scientists estimate that it was somewhere between 240 and 400 meters long, but only about 35 meters wide. An odd, stretched-out shape that isn't typical for space objects. But its unusual form wasn't the only mystery. One of the strangest things about Oumuamua was how it moved. Instead of following a smooth, predictable rotation, it tumbled chaotically through space. If it had been spinning like this for millions of years, its motion should have settled down. But it hadn't. Something had set it spinning, and whatever force had done it hadn't faded away. Then there was its color. Oumuamua had a reddish surface, which was strange. Some space rocks turn red due to long-term exposure to cosmic radiation, but this wasn't the same. The way it reflected light didn't match any known asteroid or comet. Some researchers suggested that it might have been coated in a thin layer of organic material, similar to the surfaces of some icy bodies in space. But even this couldn't fully explain its odd properties. One scientist, Professor Avi Loeb, had an even more radical idea. He didn't just suggest that Oumuamua was artificial, he backed it up with a serious scientific theory known as the light sail hypothesis. Loeb, an astrophysicist who had spent years studying black holes and the formation of stars, analyzed the data from telescopes and found something intriguing. If Oumuamua was incredibly thin and lightweight, sunlight alone could have been enough to push it forward. This is exactly how a light sail works. A light sail is a spacecraft that doesn't rely on engines or fuel. Instead, it catches light, just like a sailboat catches wind. When tiny particles of light hit a thin, reflective surface, they give it a gentle push, allowing it to move through space. If Oumuamua was made of extremely thin material, this could explain why it accelerated unexpectedly. Now, this might sound like something out of science fiction, but light sail technology isn't just a theory, it's already being tested here on Earth. In 2019, the LightSail 2 spacecraft, developed by the Planetary Society, successfully used sunlight to change its orbit. Around the same time, the Breakthrough Starshot project, funded by billionaire Yuri Milner, was designing tiny interstellar probes with light sails to travel to Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to us. There was another reason why the light sail idea made sense: Oumuamua's shape. At first, scientists thought it was cigar-shaped, but later studies suggested it might have been flat, like a disc or a thin sheet. A flat, lightweight shape would be ideal for a light sail because it would catch sunlight efficiently, explaining the strange way Oumuamua moved. Some skeptics argued that a light sail wouldn't tumble the way Oumuamua did, but others countered that if it was damaged or abandoned, it could have been spinning uncontrollably as it drifted through space. Think about how humans have sent out spacecraft like Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. These probes are carrying golden records with information about Earth, designed to be found by other civilizations one day. If Oumuamua was an ancient probe, it could have been traveling through space for longer than human civilization has existed. And here's the craziest part: the civilization that built it might not even exist anymore. It could have been sent by a species that went extinct long ago, or by being so advanced that they have no idea where their ancient probe has ended up. However, one thing that made scientists doubt this idea was the fact that no signals were detected. If Oumuamua was really a probe, wouldn't it be sending out radio waves or some kind of message? Let's explore further. The endless mysteries of Oumuamua. If Oumuamua was meant to be stealthy or non-reactive, it wouldn't have been broadcasting any signals at all. In fact, many of our own space probes are designed to remain silent most of the time. After traveling through space for millions of years, it could have lost power or been damaged by cosmic debris. Back in December 2017, astronomers made an effort to detect any signals coming from Oumuamua. The Breakthrough Listen project used powerful radio telescopes to scan for any unusual transmissions. If it had been transmitting, we would have expected to pick up distinct patterns, either a series of dots or trailing signals. But nothing was detected. However, that doesn't mean it wasn't artificial. If the probe was completely silent, damaged, or built differently than what we anticipated, our instruments wouldn't have registered anything anyway. One interesting theory suggests that Oumuamua might not have been an active spacecraft at all, but rather a derelict, abandoned vessel, like an old satellite drifting aimlessly in space. Imagine a once powerful alien ship, now just a lifeless husk floating through the cosmos. If it had been built millions of years ago, all of its systems could have shut down long ago. Think about our own space junk. old satellites and probes left behind by humans. In the distant future, an advanced alien civilization might come across something like Voyager 1 and wonder if this was an active probe or just the remains of a long-extinct species. Not everyone was thrilled by the idea that Oumuamua might have been artificial. Most scientists preferred natural explanations because that was the safest assumption. After all, we've never actually confirmed the existence of alien technology, so suggesting that Oumuamua was an extraterrestrial spacecraft was a bold claim. Many astronomers argued it was just an unusual comet, even though it didn't have the classic tail of one. Others theorized that it could be made of a strange type of ice that behaves differently than anything we've seen before. But here's the problem. Every natural explanation had gaps. The artificial theory, as controversial as it was, couldn't be completely dismissed. And, as always, when something mysterious appears, wild ideas start spreading. Some people even suggested that humans were somehow responsible for Oumuamua's appearance. This is exactly why scientists regret not getting a closer look. If we had detected Oumuamua earlier, we might have had a chance to send a spacecraft to observe it up close, just like NASA did with the asteroid Bennu. Imagine if we had taken high-resolution images. But this story isn't over. If Oumuamua was artificial, it likely wasn't the only one. If an advanced civilization was sending out probes, there could be many more, hundreds, maybe even thousands. And if Oumuamua was simply a natural object, that still tells us something incredible. Interstellar visitors are passing through our solar system more often than we ever realized. In 2019, astronomers discovered another interstellar object, 2I Borisov. Unlike Oumuamua, it looked more like a traditional comet, but its discovery proved one important thing. Oumuamua wasn't just a once-in-a-lifetime event. More interstellar objects will come, and next time we'll be better prepared. Other mysterious space events. The Galileo Project is an ambitious scientific effort led by Harvard professor Avi Loeb, the same scientist who studied the mysterious interstellar object Oumuamua. Unlike traditional searches for alien life that focus on listening for radio signals, Loeb's team is looking for physical evidence, actual objects that might be remnants of alien technology. This means they are searching for old interstellar visitors, scanning the moon for anything out of place, and even investigating UFO sightings reported by pilots. The goal isn't to assume aliens are real, but rather to gather real data. After all, space is vast, and we now know that objects from other star systems regularly pass through our own. Some of these objects might be ordinary space rocks, while others could be more mysterious. And just maybe, one of them could finally prove that we are not alone. If another object like Oumuamua appears, scientists want to be prepared. That means having better telescopes, faster spacecraft, and a solid action plan for studying it immediately. Otherwise, we'll just watch it slip away into the darkness, just like last time. Now let's rewind to 2014, 3 years before the discovery of Oumuamua. A small but extremely fast-moving object entered Earth's atmosphere and burned up over the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. At the time, no one thought much of it. It was just another meteor. But years later, scientists re-examined the data and made a stunning realization. This meteor, now called CNEOS, January 8, 2014, was moving way too fast to have come from our own solar system. Its speed and trajectory suggested that it had originated from another star system, making it the first known interstellar object to ever hit Earth. In 2023, Avi Loeb launched an expedition to search for fragments of the meteor deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. His team discovered tiny metallic spheres on the seafloor. Early analysis suggested that these spheres had unusual compositions, different from typical space rocks. Some even speculated that the meteor might not have been natural at all, but possibly a fragment of alien technology or something beyond our current understanding. Adding to the mystery, the U.S. Space Command officially confirmed in 2022, with 99.999% certainty, that the meteor was interstellar. This means that Earth has already been hit by an object from outside our solar system, and it's bound to happen again. What do you think about the shocking return of Oumuamua? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe.